Hey guys, it's Hillbeast here from Clannad Abridged, and I'm joined by One Destin from Team One Destin, and this is a commentary of Episode 1 of Clannad Abridged. But basically we're just going to talk about our opinions on the episode and what was done right, what was done wrong, and all that sort of stuff like that. Yeah. My opinion of this episode was pretty average, but what do you reckon?
Well, I thought this opening sequence was really important because in the main series, this is like the whole premise of the whole series. Like this opening sequence, like if this sequence didn't take off, the series just wasn't going to do anything really. Yeah. It's one of those episodes. It's one of those series where they base everything on that first 5 minutes because a lot of people will turn away after that first 5 minutes. I feel the opening sequence is done pretty well though.
And one thing about it is, like, this opening sequence, like, as you get later on into it, into after story and all that, is it gets really, really important, and they reference the scene a lot. And that's why I felt, well, I have to keep as much of the scene intact. Like, okay, I changed the dialogue, but, like, the whole Nagisa, like, just talking about absolute random crap, like, I didn't even realize that I was going to make her get Tourette's or anything when she was, like, saying tits. It wasn't until after I went and made her say tits that I thought, well, maybe I should have Tourette's or something.
When in our re-abridging of this scene, we tried to keep it intact as well. I noticed because that's just one of the scenes that you just have to keep it as intact as possible because otherwise, like, nothing makes sense. It's one of those key scenes that they make references to. Which this opening scene here with the going to the school where we introduce some of the main characters like Sunohara here.
Yeah.
I think it was important that we established that Sunohara was a complete dumbass and basically didn't denounce him as any kind of quality character.
Yeah.
And the pink underwear just made.
I'm not so proud of this scene. It wasn't very well done. It was a lot of awkward pauses because, of course, this was the second scene I've ever done in abridging. It wasn't very well done. It was badly edited. The quality was absolutely terrible. As you can see, it's really, really blocky and pixelated. And that's because I was just using the fan sub of the show. I wasn't actually using a RAW, and it started scrolling along the bottom with Japanese text, like what they do in Japanese shows. And I had to go and cut that out, so I thought, well, maybe if I just zoom in, that'll get rid of it.
You got money for me?
Yeah. Later on, though, you started using RAWs, if I recall.
Yeah.
And all in 1080p, if I recall.
They were 720p, but they weren't actually true 720p. They were actually just DVD upscales, which I'm not very happy with doing. But in the next season, I am going proper, true 720p. Well, the RAWs are 1080p, but I just don't see the discernible difference between 720 and 1080, so I'm just doing 720.
I just don't want to be an escort. I want to go in the
yes,
theater.
this is the infamous idea of every character being voiced by one person in this episode.
Yeah. Everyone sounded exact same.
I do find it interesting, though, that the cards all look just like American cards would. You think, like, in Japan they would, like, have some kind of different cards or something, but I guess not. Perhaps they're just doing one of those things where they make references to America. Because remember, in anime, they do make a lot of references to America and try to make stuff more American-like. Because they realize their ultimate goal in anime is to get it dubbed, really. Because anime really doesn't make a lot of money unless it gets dubbed, really. I mean, they do generate a good amount of profit in Japan, but, like, let's put it this way. In an anime episode, they probably get, like, $40,000 an episode, which is, it sounds like a lot, but in America, there are actors that get paid more than that. Yeah. Like, if I recall, the guy who plays one of the brothers in 2.5 Men is the highest paid television actor who gets paid $1.2 million an episode. So, ultimately, an anime's goal, pretty much, is to try to get it aired in America somehow, whether it be through sub or dub. Dubbing, obviously, is a more expensive process, and dubbing is usually what makes a series more successful.
Yeah.
Because, although whether you like them or you hate them, Americans prefer to watch anime in their native language.
Yeah, I knew that. I got sick and I had to be away
But,
for a while.
This scene was also very important, I felt.
Yeah.
Because this is where we first established his relationship with Nagisa.
Yeah. You start to learn about Nagisa, how she failed school last year, and I tried to emphasize how much she failed in the previous year with the whole fail stamp sort of thing. Except I couldn't do that in the original cut of it because I edited it so badly. It was 11 minutes, and, like, that fail stamp there, it wasn't really it was too long to do the original. There was going to be 2 fail stamps. Like after she went and said, "Oh, I failed last year," it was going to go fail on screen. And yeah, I didn't have enough time, so I had to cut it out. But now that I've learned, it's because my editing was so bad. When I remaster this episode, I'll probably put it back in again.
What's that sound?
I also thought it was interesting, that entire scene, I was wondering, was he eating a fucking Philly cheesesteak? I couldn't tell. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like one.
You can never figure out what they're eating in this show.
But they do have Mr. Popo.
Like, I noticed in a lot of animes, Japan likes to make fun of stuff that Americans do, and a lot of the time it's revolving around food. And usually, like, they'll make fun of a fast food restaurant that's been popularized over here. Usually it's like McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
But they seem to make references to American stuff a lot. Like, these biker guys are clearly American stereotypes.
They've got crazy hair. Like, when I go and say, seriously, who styles their hair like this? People didn't understand that I was talking about people in real life. Like, someone went and said back to me, "Oh, you must have never seen such and such an anime." But, like, I wasn't trying to say, like, in an anime, because obviously in anime they have stupid hair. Guys, like, look at Yu-Gi-Oh! They have the stupidest hair.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the most infamous of stupid hair.
I was talking about in real life, who would actually put a dick on the front of their face? It just looks dumb.
I don't even know how your hair would hold itself up with that.
So yes,
Oh yeah, Sunahara again.
At your place in bed.
Yeah, establishing that he's just the school clown. He's absolutely worthless. He's just there for comic relief.
I really like this girl, actually, for some reason. I don't know why. Like, she's got that kind of attitude that a lot of guys probably would find attractive, really. Because she's that girl that can actually fight back, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys seem to find that appealing about a girl who actually can kick some ass.
Yeah.
And she's actually some kind of secret legendary fighter, which we conveniently mentioned after he is about to get his ass kicked.
Yeah. Except I didn't really mention, I'm more like, he was randomly just telling a random story about a girl who was fighting.
The sad part is, at that actual scene, she actually just says hamburgers in the actual anime. Which, the thing is, though, they do explain it. But the thing is, though, it still seems so stupid to say that out loud. Like, these Japanese people really dumb things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that line right there, what they say in the dub, she says, what's your hand doing on my head? It's like they just say things that nobody would in those situations.
Like, what I said was, like, what I went to made her say was, "Oh, Tomoya, what are you doing here?" And I've had people laughing at that. I'm like, why? What's funny about it? It's just, she's just acknowledging he's there. Why is it funny? What is special about him saying it? And that dog barking pisses me off so much. I'm never ever doing that dog ever again. If you ever see a dog, you have the right to go and thumbs down the video. I hate it.
Well, I think that scene, like, they tried to make it too much, they emphasized too much that, you know, like, what they're saying, because in the dub, they try to enunciate everything too much.
Yeah.
And it's thing is, so they say things to where it's redundant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely redundant, and some things, it's like, it's obvious what they're trying to imply. When he put his hand in his head, he was just trying to gesture some form of comfort, which, that's an obvious thing. Nagisa's either too retarded to figure that out, or she's just really, really slow.
And here's the bread scene.
Ah, yes, with his bangable sister.
Oh, this scene, I had 2 options for it. I had the one option, which I went with, where the bread was crap, or I had the option of the bread was really, really good, but she was disappointed that he complimented it. And I thought, nah, I don't think I can carry that on for too long, that she wants to be a masochist and, like, everyone insults her bread. I didn't think that would be very funny. I thought people would be like, well, why would she want people to insult her bread? That's just confusing. So I went with this option.
Her as a character, I know, she's got that attractive face and the hairstyle thing, but her clothing is very uncomplimentive towards her character, really.
Yeah.
Just doesn't really seem dressed. And her husband, oh my god, he's clearly comic relief.
He is.
He's clearly bipolar.
There's something wrong with that cigarette in his mouth. It just never.
I know, that cigarette just seems to levitate. There has to be a joke about that later on, about the fact that his cigarette defies gravity. And he's always smoking. He's always smoking.
Yeah.
He's chain smoking throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Even in After Story, he's still smoking.
Yeah.
I noticed Nagisa doesn't seem to express any kind of hate or disregard towards her father's attitude. She doesn't seem to have any kind of, you know, negative feelings towards the fact that her father is harassing her new friend.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
She's just like, oh yeah, he does that to everyone.
I love it.
It's all good.
Wanna be soft?
Apparently, they're supposed to be a very stereotypical Japanese family.
Sounds like someone's having
That's and you can kind of tell they really are kind of a stereotypical Japanese family because there really is nothing really abnormal about them at this point. At this point, we really haven't established anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
He's a working guy, she's a working woman, she owns a bakery,
messed up.
and Nagisa does a lot of the housework.
And here goes his father.
Oh yeah, his drunk father, which obviously later on there's going to be a huge thing established with this.
Yeah. But I really don't understand, like, even still when you do get the story established, it still makes no sense to me. Like, I can't really explain it or else I will ruin the story for people who haven't watched all of Clannad. But, like, it really does confuse me, the actual relationship.
No, it's not.
And really the thing is, though, throughout the beginning, his father's constantly trying to, like, he's constantly trying to talk to him and get to, you know, be good friends with his son. He just hates him, like, for no reason.
Yeah.
He doesn't even try to acknowledge his efforts.
So that's all we have time for. That's all the episode. So stay tuned for episode 2.